Hey guys, it's Trisha, the left-hand stitcher. So today I decided that I was going to show you finally how I decided to store my over-dyed and silk flosses. And while this is not a perfect system, it's what works for me for right now. Ideally, I would have something a little bit different, but for my current situation, this works perfect. So let me just quickly, I'm going to quickly do an overview, on, maybe not quickly, I'll do an overview. I know I get kind of long-winded at times. I've promised this to several people, and I just never seem to find the time. So today, you're getting the quick and dirty, I mean not quick and dirty, what's the word I'm looking for? The seat of my pants kind of thing. I did not prep this very well. I'm going into the stash to get some floss out for a project, and I decided now was the time. So let's just get to it. These are you can't see that, so I'm having to work with a tripod and the angles are awkward. So these are letter legal boxes from Staples. I got words they are going to be difficult, so you're going to have to bear with me. I got the file folders off of Amazon. I got basically everything but the boxes off of Amazon. So what I'll try to do is I'll find my original orders, and I will link the items in the description below. But the Staples boxes, just get from Staples. They're a standard commodity for that store. Okay, so what I like is they're in plastic containers. I live in a very dusty environment, so I can't have my threads just hanging out without protection. That's what she said. Okay, anyways. So inside, you can see all the lovely stuff. So I have them sorted by manufacturer, and I like, I've kind of color coded, so all the GAST are on the pink file folder parts. What do I want to call these? Bands, pink bands. Classic Colorworks orange, but they only have 3 colors, so I kind of have to rotate through. So Color and Cotton is in the back with the orange. Oh, okay, so I see that I have a miscellaneous, but that's Weeks Dye Works miscellaneous because they're colors that are limited edition or not even named. Like I got samples from somewhere, and anyways, okay, let's get to it. So I took file folders, I cut them to roughly that much. I can measure that, and I'll put that in the description as well. And I use these little guys. Oops, there's the camera. These little guys. They're from sewing, crafting, quilting type stuff, and I love them. Wonder Clips is what they're called. I'm pretty sure these are a knockoff brand that I found on Amazon, because as you can see, I needed a crap ton of them. So, and then I used, let's see if I have one in here. See, like I said, no preppy work. Okay, so I will pull the first one a little bit out so you can see it. These are the wire rings with the screwy bits to keep them together, and I'll show you a close-up a little bit later, but this is how it's set up. I do alphabetically, and I just created these tags with punches and whatnot. So I do them alphabetically as A, B, C, and then on the ring they're also alphabetically. Because I'm borderline OCD, so that's what makes me happy. So what I decided was, at first I was going to punch holes and thread these through, but then I was like, no, then I'm always undoing them to get them off, and I wasn't really happy with that, and they hung down too low in the box. Right now the box is a little bendy at the bottom, and if that really bothered me, I figured I could twiddle all of the flosses, but it doesn't bother me, so I keep it that way. But I like how high up this is. All the other versions that I tried, they were just hanging down too low for my liking. So, and what I decided is, as you can see, on the first one, because of the tag, I do 4 across. And then on the next one over, I do 5 across, and they fit in the spaces between, so that these big bundles don't get too bunched up. They kind of nest in between the ones in front and in back. Oh God, I'm sorry that I'm out of camera for some of this. But like I said, this was seat of my pants. If I don't show it now, it's going to be months before I show it. Okay, so let me put this down a little bit lower, and I'll show you, because I can't get this tripod up high enough to really show you good. So, uno momento. Alright, so we have a fairly janky angle. Sorry if it's not that great for you, but needed to do it this way to show you this. Okay, so these are just the backer boards for something that I purchased. I rounded the corners because I didn't want corners to get catch any of the thread. I use these to get them in and out. These words. Okay, groupings. So I slide these down in, like I can push the whole lot of them back. I slide it in, open it up, and then this can just kind of scooch down there, and then these come out. So I'm not fighting the floss to get it in and out. And like if I'm wanting to get one back here, I just throw one down in front and one in back, and then I can scooch it out like so. And then it goes right, and they hold my place too if I'm just pulling one out at a time, and it's all nice in there. So when I'm needing to pull floss off, okay, let me move back to the table, we'll talk about that. Okay, so when I need to pull floss off, say I know what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for, you know, something a gas that starts with M, I just go to that grouping and pull it out. So then, let me scooch this just a little bit better away, and I lay it down on the table. Yeah, you can see that. Let me there we go. And then, okay, so I picked M because it's in the center. So what I do is I just grab both of the clips off. I pull L off. I pull M off. I find the one that I want in the M's. So say I want Moonlit Path. I then slide what's in front to the back. I got Moonlit Path right there. So then I undo this thing, pull Moonlit Path off, and redo this little. So I'll do this real quick. So it just, okay, I'll get close. So you can see my janky nails too. So just spins and then it opens. So what I like to do is I get a finger underneath the back part and I kind of squeeze the rest of them so that moonlit path can come right off. And then because I find it easier to spin these things in this configuration and turn it so it just spins shut. And then before I put it back on the grouping, I slide it around so that M's in front again, and then this just slides on. I space it, you know, roughly. I can just, my brain goes, okay, it's a four bundle grouping, and I kind of know whereabouts on here that I want to place it, and I place this. Okay, so the reason I use these little things rather than just sticking that on there, without them, when you put it into the container, this flips like this. And then these little things that are the hooky things aren't hooked anymore, and if it slides, it will go in the container. So I figured this out, that if I use these little clips, first of all, it keeps them nicely positioned on here so everything kind of nestles, and it prevents this from flipping. So on goes L, and clippy thing, and it's quick. It's quick and easy for me to do, and when I buy floss, it's really easy for me to add them to each of them. Alright, so now I'm done with this grouping. I pull this back and I separate the two cardboard pieces, and then this just fits right down inside. If I feel the need, like I can tell they kind of got all bunchy at the bottom, I can just go towards the bottom with my hands. I can push out just a little bit and give it space to hang as nicely as it's going to. And when I pull these out, I kind of shimmy them a bit. So that's how I work this. I try to keep it pretty simple. Right now I have letters that I don't have floss for on that, and when I get these letters I'll have to rearrange this a bit, but this was my initial setup, and I'll probably tweak it as I go, but it's pretty good product right now. So you can see weeks, classic color work weeks, and like I said, I had this miscellaneous. Well, these are unknown weeks dye works, and then these are just random color, manufacturers I don't have enough of to do their own grouping. So Victoria samplers, some Jodari designs of Eldani, some Moe's, a random, oh, there's another Veldani, and this is a Weeks Dye Works that I accidentally ordered. It's not embroidery floss, it's pearl cotton, so that's why that's there. Okay, so, and I like how everything just stays nice and neat. Now, right now I have a full folder in front and a full folder in back, and I plan to put some sort of covering right here on the side, so that if I leave this near a window with sun, it's not gonna, and I'm planning to swap these white ones out with maybe a couple of the smoky color. We'll see, but right now that's my system, and that's how it works. So I have another container. I'll show you real quick. It's where I keep the bag of extra Wonder Clips and the little things and some more of these rings. That's how they come, like so. Alright, so in here I have kitted items. So kitted patterns, if I have all the floss for them, or let's see if I can find one. Like you can see on the back here, I wrote what I needed to fill this out, and as I acquired them and added them to the group, I crossed them off. So let's see, I don't need any for that. Yeah, Winter Rose Manor. That was a bear to kit up. Look at all that. So this is how I decided I'm going to keep my kitted ones that have non-DMC. So if they have DMC, the DMC stays in this DMC storage. So I got Primitive Merry Christmas and Plum Pudding, Peaceful Woodlands. So I like this method because I can store all the different types as well. Like for this, is this a Veriswa? I can't. It's tiny print. I don't have my glasses on, but I'm pretty sure this is a Veriswa. But you see, it comes just like this. Well, I added this little piece of string. Let me get that in frame. This little piece of string, so that instead of just looping these on here, it wasn't constantly moving like so and abrading the silk. So just a little string holds them. Now, one thing I want to show you is most brand Gast and Classic Colorworks both come with the whole center top. Weeks Dye Works doesn't come with any hole at the top, so I add one at the corner here, because the center, it was too close here, so I just picked a good spot in this corner to punch a hole to hang them. And then things like Wildflowers, because their tag was really long, I folded it and I punched, just making sure that I'm not punching anywhere where information is useful. And Dinky Dyes also didn't have a hole, so I punched a hole in the upper corner so that they would feed on. So the idea is just to get it so that none of the floss is actually touching the ring, so that it doesn't constantly abrade as it gets moved, like so. Alright, so there's, let's point you up just a teensy bit. Okay, there's my kitted. Got a few. I have extra things for kits because I know that's going to be more. I separate different areas within this one with full folders, just because. And I think the reason I did that is because this next one has packaging in it, and I didn't want this packaging to catch the floss. But this is where I keep beads for certain projects. Like if I kit it myself, I put it in a bag, and then I can add notes, you know, if I need more. Like, so if I'm missing some from a kit. So this is nice to keep it in one spot. And then back here I have my silks. So the first one is just some Mrs. Sada's that I haven't yet broken down the big hanks, but they hit. And again, I add a length. Here, let's bring this closer. I add a length of string in the hank loop so they hang nicely, and I'm not putting more friction stress on it. And then Silks for You, and these are done by numbers because they're all numbered. So 1 through 50, 51 through 75, 76 through 100, that kind of thing. I might parse them out further once I get, if I get more. These are CMs, so I guess they're, I don't know what CM, like complementary colors or whatnot, combined. Anyways, they're CMs. So Silks for You, and then back here I have Belle Soie, Silken Colors, Gloriana, Dinky Dyes. I mean, I don't have much Dinky Dyes in here because I tend to buy Dinky Dyes for my projects instead of stocking. So, and I got extra folders in the back here for when I need them, if I want to expand this at all. So there it is. I hope that you guys find this helpful, and feel free to use it or use part of it or use it as an inspiration for what you're going to do. So right now, so that overview is done. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to keep rolling, and I'm actually looking for a blue, a dark blue. I don't know the name of it. I'm just going to paw through my stash and find a blue, because there's a the call for color in a pattern doesn't suit me. So we're gonna just start pulling out groupings, and then what I do, slide this to the side, is I lay it on the table and I kind of paw through. I don't see any blue there, and then I go into the B's. You know, I can look and see, well, that one's black, so I don't need that. What I'm looking for is a dark blue. Now this one, Blackberry Jam, this one might work, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to actually rotate this up so that it sits up from the rest, and I continue going through the bundles. That's too black, that's black. See. Now every time I come across this one, creek bed, it's just like I need to find a project to do with it. Okay, so there's no blue. Now this is a nice blue, but it's too light for my project. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this up on the table, and I might be out of oh, I might not be out of camera, but I'm going to slide it up with my possible blue still separated, and then I will go grab the next bundle and start going through it. So now I like this blue. I'm not sure if it's dark enough, but I want to keep it separated so that I can make a decision amongst all of my possibles when I'm done. So then I just slide this up and lay it on top. This is kind of a messy process, but it's what works, and it allows me to go through. Okay, that one's not quite right. Ooh, midnight. Midnight might be, I got two dye lots right here. One's definitely different from the other, so let's move that up. And because I'm looking for a very specific color, this can go pretty quick. Onyx is kind of nice, but it doesn't have enough blue in it. Now this is a pretty blue, presidential blue, but I don't think it's dark enough. But you know what, we're gonna separate it out just in case. It's something, you know, I might change my mind on the value of blue as I look through all of this. So Raven's definitely not blue. I got Soot, that's a very gray it's a tiny bit blue, but it's not quite blue enough. So there's a pretty blue, but it's too light, and it's got purple, too much purple in it. Okay, so this is the color that the pattern calls for. God, in the camera you can see the blue, but in real life I can't see that blue. So in real life that just looks black to me. So since I didn't pull any out of this one, we're just going to pop it back in. Sorry, I might be off camera for this, but that's life at this point. Okay, so now we're moving into Classic Colorworks. And so what I'm going to do right now, you get the gist of this process. I'm going to pause, do my thing, decide on the color. I'll show you how I put everything back. I mean, I don't need to show that. I already showed that. So I'll just show you getting the thing off. Be right back. Alright, so here I have all of the bundles that had possibles in them. And they're, you know, stacked with the possibles, you know, kind of off by themselves. So what I will do now is I will grab my project and I'll lay each one against the fabric, and I'll make my decision, and then whichever one I pick is the one that I will pull off. The rest of them I'll work back to front, because I worked front to back. Now I'll be placing them back into the bucket, back to front, and it's just using my cardboard buffer pieces to get them in there so that they're nice and they're not all bunched up. Alright, so I think that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that there's a few of you out there that go, ooh, that's perfect. I love it because it has all of my floss and all of my over-dyed floss. It's specialty floss, so all my silks in one spot. They're not all over the house and unorganized in other containers where I have to go dig in multiple places to find things. Now this right here, if I know the name of it, I can go right to it. If I'm looking for a color, I can do this sorting method, and it works for me. So I think that's as much as I need to pass along with this. It's pretty simple and easy and not terribly expensive to put together. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day and happy stitching. We'll catch you next time. Alright, so I'm back real quick. So everything's back in the box, all nice and neat. I've chosen my color, so we're just gonna put everything away. And as it turns out, so what I found, okay, so this is the pattern I was looking for a color for. I wanted for the border. Well, the skein that I currently have prepped for it is not as blue as, so it turns out I pulled the same color that is called for. The skein that I have prepped in my envelopes is not as blue as the ones I have in my stash. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to switch out what I was going to use with, I think we're going to use this one. And I'll keep, these are not quite the same, but they're close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep the one that I want to use. So it's going to be that one. Be a nice border on there. And the other one I'll keep as backup, but what I'll also do is, I think this border is going to use up more than a skein. So I will take this with me to my next LNS visit and see if I can't find a wrought iron that is slightly bluer than this is, because that's what this one is. So this one is just slightly bluer. It has a few more light spots in it. So I will take this and see if I can just find one that's bluer and with more light spots, and then I will have, but if worst comes to worst, they're close enough, I can use them. And the nature of this project is pretty cool. You know, I'm thinking about the border as a night sky with stars in it. So if the blue color shifts as it goes along, that'll work. It'll work. It's like the night sky. Night sky is not all one color. There's variation to it. So I think that works as a plan. Alright, one other thing that I came back here to tell you is when I put this together, I also created a spreadsheet inventory tracker. So everything in here is on my Excel sheet tracker. So now that I pulled 2 items from it, I'm gonna open up that spreadsheet and subtract the 2 items that are no longer in my inventory. And I like having that, because like if I'm shopping online for a pattern, I decide, yes, I want to do this pattern, let me look in my stash to see if I have any of the floss before I buy the floss, fancy floss for it. So that's what I like to have, and it works really well for me. If you want, just comment. I will make a copy of my tracker and sanitize it so that it doesn't have any of my data in it, any of my numbers, and I'll post a link. I'll put it in Google Docs and I'll post a link in the description, but that's only if someone asks, okay? It's gonna, it's gonna take some time to do, and I'm just busy right now. My new job has got me, my brain is full. So ask and I'll get it done when I have time. Alright? Take care and happy stitching, guys.